I thought I clicked go live a long time ago, but I guess I didn't, so I've just been talking to myself. Whoops. Alright, cool. Ah, well, if anyone's here, hello. And I have no idea whether or not any of that other stuff was previewed. I've already talked about how I've got a combination of dried and frozen mushrooms here, and the frozen mushrooms kind of shrank a lot when I thawed them out. And I've already minced my onions and peeled them and peeled the garlic, and I'm using some celery. And oh man, I feel like such a dork for not realizing that I didn't click go live. I swear I clicked it, but see, I'm using my laptop that it connects to the keyboard, and sometimes that connection comes loose, so maybe it didn't listen to me when I clicked it. I'm not doing a very good job of explaining. Hello, Chrissy. Hi. I'm glad it's finally working. I'll go get my my cabbage sprout to show again because I already showed off my sprouting cabbage. Because I was talking to myself without realizing it, I think, because I didn't click the button. But I was talking about how I've been trying to leave more on the ends of anything that might regrow. I don't think I left quite enough on this onion, but we'll see. And yeah, the Napa cabbage, it's starting to grow. Get round 2 of the same plant. Because I'm excited about the idea of more sustainability. That's kind of like the lens through which I'm trying to see all this weird global stuff that's happening, because sustainability is always good, and, you know, panic buying and hoarding will only take you so far. But the more you can learn how to just do stuff, then you can keep going and be more handy and whatnot. And in that same vein, I've also been saving the garlic peels and onion peels, not like the farthest out layer, but at least if I take one layer off the plant, and then anything that's still too tough to use and stuff, I've been saving it for making soup stock with, because apparently it's okay to make soup stock with those little parts. I thought, for a long time that they're just, basically waste, or worm food. But that's not the case. Well, supposedly it's not the case. I personally have not tried making a stock with it yet, but I'm about to try in the near future. Not in this section. I'm just making mushroom soup out of the stuff that I've already got going today. And I'm using some of the drippings from ground beef that we got, because we got a very fatty ground beef, and it really had a lot of drippings, and I thought that it was ridiculous to just pour it all down the sink. So I filtered them through some strainers and reboiled them, kind of I think it's called rendering. I don't know if what I did was actually considered rendering, but I tried. Kind of make it nice, and because basically anytime that fat gets real thick and stable like that, it tends to hold up fairly well for reuse. It's cool whenever you make like a bone broth or something, and you'll get a layer of that at the top that will seal it up and make it a little bit more shelf stable. Alright, minced all my stuff here. Got my garlic, my onion, my celery, my mushroom. I don't know what all I want to use for seasonings. I saw someone suggesting using a little bit of nutmeg in it. Let's see. I think just the flavor of the beef fat will take it a long way. But I need some... Well, I don't have any bouillon. I do have... What's this? falafel spices. Yeah, nah, let's not go with that. I think it mostly just needs a little bit of salt and might do some Italian seasoning at the end. I could get more complicated with it, but like I said, I think that just the base flavors of the things that are in it are going to carry it for the most part. And I'm kind of doing like a roux thing over here with the beef, not tallow. Would it be tallow? I don't think that's what you'd call it. Maybe. Oh, I space on words for things. I had some really tasty, my mom had some stuff called mushroom salt, and it did a really good job like bouillon, but it was just like a big loose jar of it, but I think I went through all of it. Yeah, just got garlic pieces and stuff yet left, and a bunch of yeast so I can make more bread. I'm excited to make more bread. That's another thing apparently, because we got some milk that's a little on edge, and that's the main reason I wanted to make the soup. Slightly questionable milk is okay for baking as well, like as long as it gets cooked, and it won't, as long as it's not so tangy that it ruins the flavor of the recipe. But with breads and stuff, I guess it actually like works with it. So I considered doing that instead of the soup today, but I think I'm just gonna use like half for this and some for that. Maybe more than half for this, because I don't think that it needs that much. I'm trying to remember. Last time I did a recipe of the bread, I did not use any milk, so I don't remember how much liquid was involved. I'd have to refresh my memory. I usually like sit there watching YouTube tutorials right as I'm cooking it, which is awesome too, because it like really increases the appetite. It's like, oh man, I'm starving for this food now. All right. Do I want to caramelize my onions first or the mushrooms first? Let's just do a little bit of both. Oh, great. Siren's going off outside. That's reassuring. It happens intermittently. It might just be a test. Oh my gosh. It's loud to my ears, but hopefully the mic is somewhere where it's not picking up on it too much, as well as the sizzling. Hopefully the sizzling's not too loud. Tried to kind of cloister the microphone in the corner. So I'm going to turn down the heat and peek outside, though. I don't know. It's like one of those things, like if you hear alarm sirens going off, you never know what's actually happening. Like, because they like to do drills fairly often, to the point where you almost just start dismissing them, which makes me question how well it works to warn people when something's actually happening. I guess I'll Google real quick with my phone and see. Turn down the heat a little bit and stir, 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 stir. Oh my goodness. Why? I'm not seeing anything about it. I need to like sign up for emails that will warn me when there's going to be a test, so that way I can know. All the stuff that's being pulled up is like from years ago, so oh well. We're just gonna hang tight. I hope everything's alright. Yeah, it is kind of like the boy who cried wolf. That's what Chrissy says, that the alarm's going off too often is like. And it's true. Like, I get that you have to test them, but it seems like it defeats the purpose. I just don't understand. Seems like it would be the obvious answer that you should just run it real short if it's a test. But, oh well. And yes, I'm using the blade of my knife to gather up the bits. I really shouldn't do that because it'll dull it. Oh yeah, I have some really cool knives, by the way. These were my birthday or Christmas present last year. I can't remember. Galaxy knife. Ooh, it's so pretty. And each kind of knife has a different pattern. These are the only two that are out of the dishwasher right now. But yeah. Ooh, it smells like it's getting a little bit smoky. No, not outside my cooking smoky. Don't mean to make y'all think that there's a fire alarm. It doesn't sound like the building's fire alarm. It sounds like one of those, like the town alarm thing, whatever you would call that. Like a tornado siren, that's the freaking word. I hope I'm not adding too much of this beef fat. I just wanted to try to use it up and make sure it's creamy enough. Go ahead and see if I can turn this camera a little bit down. Oh, this is so awkward. I just want to show the food. I'm not set up for a cooking channel. Yeah, well, okay. Well, it's not happening. There you go. You can see a sneak peek of the food. Yay! I'll just hold it and start. Woohoo! Boy, do I wish I had a little drone that could just, you know, do all the angles and record stuff. That would be spectacular. Things to look forward to in the future, I guess. Ooh. Bop, 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 bop. I don't know how to put it. It's such delay that it's so hard to set it up. Like, you can set it up at the start, but then if you start moving around, yeah. Also, this recipe feels like it's going by so quickly that it's like, what am I going to be left to do? I just have to crush the garlic. Where's my garlic press? Garlic press, there he is. All that's left to do really is crush the garlic and add the cream and then the spices, but yeah, that's just about it. I wasted most of my chopping time without realizing that the camera wasn't on because I didn't press the go live button. I'm so good at streaming. Absolutely masterful. Chopping with the galaxy. It's true. That's what those knives are like. It's amazing. It's like, what's the thing Jafar says? Cosmic power in the palm of your hand. I don't know if that's the line, but it's what I imagine it is because he gets all swirly and spacey. I love this garlic press because it just, you can squash it and then you use this to kind of scrape it out, and then I'll show you. It's got little, it's got holes, so then you use this doodad to push through, haha, and get all that good garlicky goodness out. Though I learned the hard way, it's not dishwasher safe. This is the second one we've had over the years because the other one lost its coating. Might have just been really old too. I don't know. Well, I think the alarm stopped, so that's good. Whoa. Let's try to move this camera down somewhere better. Probably just gonna, after this is done cooking, I might go ahead and paint for a while. We'll see. This will be a little bit intimate, but here we go anyway. It's probably been awkward angles regardless. Stay! Stay! I swear this thing probably has a tripod somewhere, but I've not found it yet. I should make that a priority if I'm gonna keep streaming. Alright, heckin'. There. Fine. Hello. I'll just keep my face down here. Sauteing. Man, it smells freaking amazing. Anytime you saute garlic, onion, celery. Best smell ever. I'm surprised I'm not seeing anyone try to market a candle scented like that yet, because that would be the ultimate savory candle. I know I've seen like baking candles. Yeah, that's awkward, huh? Just staring right at the there. Let's just okay. Maybe my elephants can help. I have these really funny elephants I got in Korea at a place called Penis Park. There, now it's a little bit higher up. It's like it's made for that. It just holds it perfectly. Penis Park was hilarious. It was exactly what you'd expect. Well, maybe not exactly what you'd expect, but there were tons of sculptures of many artistic and either literal or abstract takes on the phallic shape. And it was, yeah. And some were large enough that you could sit on them like a bench, and it was apparently made for a young girl, well, not super young, but like a maiden, you know, who had drowned. So they thought that, I guess the mythos is that they erected the park so that way she would be pleased in the afterlife, I guess. I don't know. It's a strange take on it, but I loved it. It was a really good place to go. Definitely got a lot of amazing pictures out of that. I'm gonna let this saute a little bit longer. And the recipe, one of the ones I was watching suggested using either red or white wine, but I don't have any. So I think I might substitute it for some rice vinegar. I think that's a passable substitution. Let's see. I think it's mostly about the like acidity of it to help like deglaze whatever is starting to caramelize in the pan, but I might be mistaken. Let's just try white wine substitution. Like grape juice. No, I don't have that. When you want to add sweetness or deglaze the pan. For a punchier substitute, try mixing a tablespoon of vinegar or lemon juice. Okay, I'll just use, I got some vinegar. I've got, in fact, red wine vinegar, so I'll just use some of that. But only a little bit, because I think I'd rather err on the side of caution and just balance it after trying to taste it. That's how I usually do with cooking. Kind of just improvisational. Sometimes I try to follow a recipe exactly, but it's not super common. This is my pepper grinder, by the way. It's really cute. I tried putting salt in it first because I have some pink Himalayan sea salt I got a long time ago. It's like a huge bag of it that I've been slowly working through, and I need to grind it because it's massive granules, but it started to corrode the metal, so I stopped putting salt in it. And now it's just a pepper grinder. I'm hungry. I want to eat this food. I want to eat it with slices of bread. Which I have a little bit left of my loaf from my first batch, but I would try to make another one, but I've already been up since 4 a.m., so my determination to do things is waning. Probably gonna try to do more chill stuff. I don't know how people can do it. My body does not have the energy to have full days. Needs naps, needs spontaneous sleeps, or needs chill. Otherwise I'll start getting rashy and achy and not good. So, yeah. I'll wait to add the Italian seasoning until we get to the cream stage, maybe. Which I guess we're just about there. I don't know. See, I'm doing this in a smaller pan than usual. Usually I do it in like a larger pan, so then it spreads out over a bigger area. And like I think it lets the moisture escape more quickly. So hopefully it's all getting caramelized enough. It's not really seeming caramelized enough. It's seeming more like just soggy at the moment. So I should probably wait and let it do its thing. Oh, maybe turning up the heat would help. Our stove doesn't really have consistent heat on all the burners. It's a little weird. I don't know why. And I haven't committed to memory which ones are more hot and which ones. I think that back one for some reason is the hottest. Maybe it's been the least used. I don't know. I don't know if there's any kind of logic to that at all. I love this Yeti bottle because it's like it actually it's a little bit warm on the outside, but the water's still super cold. I should put that farther away from the thing though. Putting more of the little celery trimmings in my bag of leftovers for making stock with. I think my camera might have just moved. It sounded like a sound happened. I might be off camera right now. Oops. Oops. Oh well. Yeah, now it's starting to get a little bit more caramelized looking. And I think that I want to go ahead and, once this has the milk in it and simmers for a bit, I'll probably use my immersion blender and blend it up so that way it's more of like just a creamy base. Or we might like make a pasta and add pasta to it. Because Zachary's not a super fan of little chunks in his food, which I'm ambivalent. Sometimes I really like it. Like, for some reason, I love the little bits in aloe juice and stuff like tapioca or roe, that kind of thing. But there's some things, like certain soups, if there's too much, like, soggy, floaty bits of different random things in it, it's kind of off-putting to me. So I'd rather it just be a consistent, creamy sauce if I can manage it. So not so much cream of... I mean, I think that still counts as a soup. Unless I would put it on pasta. But a lot of the recipes for cream of mushroom soup that I saw, people left the mushrooms larger to kind of show off the niceness of the mushrooms, I guess. Chrissy says ours doesn't either. Oh yeah, probably talking about stoves, because she has the same problem with the stove top not burning consistently. Says she wants to get a new one, but you have to wait until yours dies. Yeah, I'll just make do. I'll get a little stressed out by having too new of things because I don't know, they're harder to figure out. Like, Every time you start with a new thing, it's got its own quirks, one way or another. I mean, maybe some things are just really intelligently designed and you can just hop in and understand it right off the bat, but yeah. I know our dishwasher at the last apartment we were in, that one was supposedly really new and it did not wash for shit. It's not good. This one, it's sturdy. I didn't take note of what brand the other one was or what model. I guess I should probably do that with this one in case we ever need one in the future, because I like it. It actually cleans the things. In the past, I've hated all dishwashers because they don't actually clean the things. Go ahead and give you another peek of the soup here. Ooh, it's getting there. It's getting withery, caramelized, golden brown. Still kind of creepy looking, maybe. We'll see how it all turns out. Mushrooms are kind of creepy to begin with, but I really like cream of mushroom soup. It's that cream that does it. Oh yeah, I didn't add salt yet. Sugar. Let me do that. Look at these beautiful, big chunks of pink Himalayan salt. I love how cheap salt is. It's amazing. Unless you get it in the really tiny serving jars at the spice section in the store. The spices in grocery stores, in those little glass bottles, are so overpriced. I was so happy to find cheaper prices at the Asian grocery place that we went to a while back. Got a huge thing of cumin for just a couple dollars, and a whole bunch of coriander seeds, and there was a bunch of other spices that I didn't have any idea what they were. And I was tempted to get all of them, but I was like, well, we can always come back. It smells so good. It smells so good. I think I'm gonna go ahead and add the milk to it now. But turning the heat down first, because it's totally gonna want to curdle if I make it too hot. Let's see. Do I have something better to kind of whisk it with? I have my immersion blender, but oh, I've spun this around and now my microphone's further away. That's no good. So I guess maybe it's good at the moment if I'm about to use my immersion blender. Decisions. I'll do a little bit of stirring it in and just letting it warm up first, or cool down, one way or the other. I don't like using the immersion blender too much in stuff that is really hot, because it's plastic. I don't want to melt it or have it release weird stuff in the food. So I'll probably let it cool a little bit and maybe mute the microphone so that way I don't deafen everyone with the sound of This thing is coming so handy, especially because for a long time we didn't have any kind of smoothie maker, so I would just use it to make sort of smoothies. It didn't work quite as well, but you know, in a pinch. Alright, let's unplug this. Unplug this in. I'm always so nervous though. Anytime I have to clean it, I have to obviously unplug it, but I'm still afraid that somehow it'll turn on, because that's just the stuff of nightmares, to try to be wiping that out. Well, too many ghost movies where people have terrible things happen to them. I feel the same way about garbage disposals in the sink. Just don't trust them. You just don't trust them. Many times I've had to have Zachary fish stuff out of the disposal because I'm like, nope, can't do it. Can't put my hand in there. It's creepy. Don't trust it. Didn't grow up with one. Saw too many things happen in Supernatural with them. But I think really realistically, I don't think that's how that stuff works, but I don't know. It's just, it's too easy to have it in the mind. Alright. How creamy do we want this soup to be? And how... I might have to thicken it some more. This seems like it's gonna be... Well, we'll see. Soup a soup. Let it simmer a little bit before trying to do the immersion blender thing. See if that flour does its job and thickens it up. This is so cute. Our newest cat, the little black cat, he's really like, he's so much like a dog. Whenever Zachary leaves or comes home, he'll literally run to the door to see him off or to welcome him back home. They're such cute friends. It's adorable. And he's also a very avid hand washer. Our new cat is. He's, I don't know why, but he just loves washing hands. If you pet him, he'll just like kind of act startled and then just like grab your hand by like curling his paws like this and hugging it and be like, give you a full, he'll keep bathing you as long as you keep your hand there. It's so funny. I would suspect it's like, because I know that it's a thing with some cats that if they get separated from their parents early on, then they have like anxiety and they want to suckle on stuff, but I've not seen him suckle on anything. He just bathes us specifically. He doesn't try to bathe the other cats, and whenever he bathes himself, I think he mostly does it out of sight, except for every now and then he's just randomly like, yep, time to clean my butt, as most cats are. But yeah. It's funny. I'm trying to decide whether to add more flour or maybe some cornstarch and thicken it up. I guess I'll wait. I'm just impatient. Because I'm sleepy. He is trying to save us from that. Zachary, Chrissy says that he's trying to save us from the coronavirus, which is the same thing that Zachary said. He's like, isn't it curious that right before this happened, we got a cat who's insisted that we wash our hands. It's like he's telling us something. And I told him maybe like the mythos around black cats being bad luck is the equivalent of, if you remember, in Lord of the Rings, Gandalf always got shit for being the bearer of bad news. So they're like, you bring bad stuff. And it's like, no, I'm just telling you what's going to happen. So maybe they're just the ones who's like, hey, you should pay attention. And not the ones who actually do anything bad. Just the ones who know. I've, of course, never trusted the bad luck thing. I specifically, like, since I was younger, which I think Chrissy already knows this because I think we talked about this before. Like, my first email was Black Cat 13. So, and I also specifically have walked under ladders on purpose many times just because, you know, I'm not gonna. Yeah. I think the only superstitious thing I like doing is actually knocking on wood if I say something that I don't want to jinx myself with. Just because it's fun. Why wouldn't you knock on wood? There it is. Bum, bum. Boil that soup up. Boil that soup up. It's not very thick, is it? Flour or cornstarch? Which one should I use? Oh, I forgot to use the vinegar also. I don't know if I want to add more of it though, because I think it's already a little bit liquid. Go ahead and add a little bit of cornstarch. Whatever. It worked pretty well. So thicken stuff up. Oh yeah, I still have some sour cream and yogurt I could use to make it more creamy too. Best if used by March 4th. Oh no. Oh no. That might not be good anymore. Let's see. Well, actually it looks completely fine. Okay. Well. It's not moldy at all. What are Best By dates? They're lies. I mean, it kind of obviously depends on like what kinds of things you're using, and it's best trusting your nose or eyes. Obviously, if you see mold on something, that's not supposed to be moldy. And yeah, in my experience anyway, different people have different sensitivities to foods. But that looks like some good sour cream. In fact, it makes me tempted to just use it for some bean dip. Which I might yet. I'm nasty. Chrissy says, I think the black cat thing is because of witches and cats being familiars. I agree. I love that whole, aesthetic and thing and concept. I was really surprised it took me this long to end up with a black cat. Well, like we've had some in the past, like when I was younger growing up. I don't know that any of them were completely black. Like they always had a couple of stray hairs that were white. And what was I trying to say? I'm trying to stir this quickly so it doesn't curdle. It's so funny. This cat, he looks like a wild thing. He looks so different. My friend Emily told me that it's probably because he's probably significantly, if not completely, a Bombay, which is wild because he's a stray. But he's got all those features, like very rounded ear tips and like completely black, including toe beans, and even his claws are black. And he's got longer fangs than I've ever seen on any cat. He's very unusual looking. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And yeah, the thing about the Bombay, like if you read the personality description, he fits it almost to a T as well, except for he's not quite as vocal. I think they're supposed to be more vocal, and he's very like concise with his vocalizations if he makes any sounds. It's so funny, his personality. I'm talking so much about my cats. But he like every now and then he just decides he wants attention and he starts like chasing you around and grabbing your feet. And he wants you to play with him. It's so cute and wild. And he's very like he behaves more like a puppy in some ways. Alright. I think I'm gonna try to do the blender thing. And then after I blend it, I'll decide whether or not to do cornstarch. I think it might be thick enough now that I added a little bit of sour cream, actually. Alright. I'm gonna unplug the microphone so that it's not so loud. Let's see, where do I do that thing? Where did it go? There's a cord. Running around. Running around. Alright. Well, maybe I should just mute it. Not be like... I'm always just afraid that things aren't actually gonna stop if I try to click things. Alright, if I turn it... Boy, oh boy, was that ever exciting. I really should have put it into a deeper pan to make that easier, but we survived. It's not quite as fully blended as I'd like, but I didn't want to leave the sound off for too long. And also it was difficult because it kept wanting to splatter everywhere. I have a thing somewhere that you're supposed to pour it into to blend it more, but it's like so much more effort. I'm tired. I think it needs more salt still. Not quite flavorful enough. It was creamy though. I made a little bit of a mess, but not nearly as bad as it could have been. So that's good. It's much cleaner than my stove is after many meals, especially anything like dumplings where the oil's splattering everywhere. Alright, let's go ahead and keep it simmering a little bit longer, add a little bit more salt, pepper, and spices. Oh, and so you can see, I think it looks pretty delicious, personally. The colors on the camera might make it look a little less delicious. It might be a little washed out or tinted one way or the other wrongly. But in person, it looks like a nice tan, creamy, because my pepper shaker's out. I'll refill it in a minute. Yeah, nice tan, creamy color. Saw someone mentioning about how you can add turmeric to kind of give it a more warm yellow color, which I might add a little bit of, I guess, but I don't want to add too much. I learned a long time ago that too much turmeric is, it's not a good, you want to be pretty light-handed with your turmeric because it can really make stuff bitter. Maybe it depends on what kind of turmeric. Oh, and fresh turmeric is very different tasting than dried. So, there's that as well. Where is my... Oh, I put my soup spoon away already. Well, I'll just rinse it off again. Well, actually, I'll need a ladle to serve it up anyway, so I'll get a spoon that's more of a ladle. Oops, sorry if there's noise. Sorry. Stir, 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 stir. It's really done, I think. It's just whether or not, you want to let it simmer and meld the flavors. It's about what one expects from cream of mushroom soup, I think. It's what I'm used to. Like the consistency of it after you blend it up makes me think a lot of the canned cream of mushroom soup, which I actually think fondly of because they're so like salty flavored that I would like really enjoy licking the straight out of the can cream of mushroom soup growing up. It's tasty. Mushrooms, like bananas, are something I have kind of an ambivalent relationship with because sometimes I really like them and sometimes I don't. The thing with bananas is I like the fake banana or the old banana flavor, the stuff that the runts taste like, and then I also like underripe banana flavor, but I do not like that dry, dusty banana flavor that they get when they get ripe. It's so off-putting that I've basically given up buying bananas because they get ripe so fast. Alright, I think I'm gonna call it done. But I could keep streaming maybe, or maybe not. Maybe for a little bit. It'll just be a little chaotic moving to the room. me just go ahead and put a little bit of this in a bowl, and then I'll work on moving to the room. Make sure I clear the path first, because I think that I moved the canvases to the side. And up in. Just mumbling to myself, don't mind me. Oh, yes. You get one of those things to set down soup spoons on, or, serving spoons. That's pretty good. I wouldn't put it in the top 10 of the things I've made, but considering I was like massively winging it, it's quite tasty actually. Boy, I'm hungry. One or the other. Maybe both. Don't drop my glass thing. This is super cute. It's a tea strainer. So you put your loose leaf tea in it, and it says, "Trap for you, so is a clear sky." And it had a really cute lid that went with it too, but it broke twice. I fixed it the first time, but yeah. Alright. Moving things. Thank you. Chrissy says, cute strainer. I think so too. Alright, I apologize. I hope this isn't loud or motion sick. I probably should just pause both things for the move, but I don't know. We're just being wild boys. We're just going for it. Ooh. Actually, it might totally lose connection anyway because of the laptop. And the way that it works. Here we go. 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 Wild time moving all over. It's all tangled up. Don't be tangled up. Let me go. Let me be free. Alright. Got it. Here we go. The Exodus is continuing. Let me see if I can remember where the camera worked well last time. Alright. Sound over here. Camera over here. I think it worked pretty well over here, but it's going to be a little bit of a delay before I can tell whether or not it's a decent angle. So just give that one moment for the lag to catch up. And I guess I'll just leave microphone here, maybe. Now I just have to decide which canvas to work on some more. Yeah, it looks like that angle will probably be good. I'll let these just sit here a minute while I go. Oh, my paint thing wasn't all the way closed. I hope it didn't dry out. Boop, boop, boop. Spits it up. Oh, sorry, that might have been loud. Maybe I should move this a little bit further away. Oh, yeah, there we go. Alright. If anyone has any opinions on which one I should work on more, decide. And I'm back with my soup and my bread. My soup and my bread. Chrissy says bottom right. Yeah, I think I was torn between either of these ones because I think those ones have more going on that I don't want to lose just yet. Want to sit on it a little bit. They're all very experimental. It's not usually my kind of thing. So we'll go with the bottom right. And see if that lines up with the camera okay still. Should be okay, though I feel like I'm going to be facing away a little bit much, so let's bring it a little bit closer. Oops, I keep forgetting the microphone is different places and then moving stuff around it. I hope I'm not deafening anyone. It's like, I always hate when that happens in shows and stuff where they have really loud sounds, especially ringing ones. Always hurts the ears and triggers tinnitus echoes for hours. If anyone knows of an app that can filter out like sounds over a certain volume or certain pitches of sounds, I would love that. So good. Tasty, tasty. This here. And this here. Come closer, painting. I like my super fancy setup. I need to find like a cute cloth to put over it or something. Maybe that will help. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else. I microwaved my soup because I like my food really hot sometimes, but I think I overdid it a little bit. Probably was hot enough still, but yeah. I don't know what it is. I like my food really, really hot. And coffee too. Which has backfired on several occasions. With coffee, it usually is a problem because if you reheat it too much, it starts tasting funky. Now, I saw a really cool painting. Ooh, this is my watercolor pen one. No, is it? It seems really supple, but I'm not sure because it's not coming to a point. I'm not going to use that for acrylic anyway. Watercolor brushes are a little bit more finicky, if this is in fact what it is. I think it is. I'm not sure. But yeah, they're very like absorbent and delicate. Anyway, I was going to say, I saw a really cool painting on the background of, I don't remember what her name is. Some YouTube streamer who does like Pleiadian spirit channeling. She's really eccentric and cute and positive. She had a really cool painting that was mostly just, no, this one's definitely a watercolor brush. Man, all my brushes got mixed up. Oh well. It was basically a bunch of different dots of different colors, like a little circle with a different color inside and another circle with a different color inside, and I might kind of try to echo that to some extent for a sense of like repetition, because these canvases are a little bit all over the place, so I feel like they'd probably be grounded a little bit by some repetition. I wish I could share food via Snapchat or streaming or something. I also wish it wasn't so hard to like meet all the health codes and regulations for doing food stuff as a business, because cooking is much more cathartic way of expressing yourself. But I don't disagree that regulations are good. They're there for a reason. I just don't have the energy to keep up with that kind of thing. So, yep. So I will not be a chef, probably. Unless if I get really determined. Okay. Let's do a little bit of... So satisfying. Oof, that does not really come to a point very nicely. It's not a super duper brush. Where's I filled up my water thing. Did I not carry it in here with me? One moment. There. And there's most of the paintbrushes I prefer also. This might get a little bit tedious. Oh my gosh, bismuth, why are you so... Okay, well, not bismuth yellow today. It's very stuck shut. Some of them got knocked over on their sides because playing with the cats in here. and they romp through, and then the paint gets all up in the seams and seals it shut. It's funny. For the longest time in my life, I did not realize that I just unconsciously make sound effects when I'm doing things until my friend Emily pointed it out, and I'm like, oh crap, you're totally right. I do. I just go doo 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 doo, zoop zoop. Just sound effects for whatever we're doing. I'm so torn. I want to be both eating my soup and painting at the same time. Why don't we have many arms like octopi? That would be so nice. And of course, if anyone wants to chat about anything or ask anything, just say whatever. I'm just on the tail end of my energy, so my chatterbox is starting to wind down. Which I guess is okay. I could just paint in silence and try to be zen. It's just, hard to not feel like you gotta fill the space with something. Sometimes. Hopefully that's not gonna seal shut again. It might. Try to peel a little bit more out. I'm gonna end up with such colorful fingers. One of the last times I was streaming, I ended up getting some yellow on one of my favorite shirts. Probably shouldn't have been wearing it while painting, but oh well. I wouldn't even mind if it was purple, but why'd it have to be yellow that I got on my dark blue shirt? That's just no good. I mean, I'm still gonna wear it. I felt like a bit of a goof. Oh, this is tasty. Let's do some of my pre-mixed colors, maybe. Switch to the teal at first because that's close to this one, so I can kind of do a subtle transfer. Yeah, that's too subtle though. The teal in the background is already so close to that. That's not what I'm going for. So I guess we'll just rinse that one.
Chrissy says she also needs a nap. We will do nap soon. I'm only gonna paint for a little bit because this is mostly a food stream. And I need paintbrush ASMR. Let's see. I don't know if you can hear it all from there. I can try it. I don't know how to do that. This is probably not the right kind of microphone for ASMR. Ooh, there's some cardboard ASMR. Ooh. Let's see, does this make a sound? If I gently flick the paintbrush. I do not have the quality of microphone needed for ASMR. I'm like 8,000% sure. Let me know if it becomes obnoxious where the microphone is right now. Maybe it'll get a little bit of sounds. Oh, these colors are just not mixed brightly enough. I need some more white. Where's my white? There it is. I always feel a little bit jealous of people that ASMR works for because it is, I mean, I think it's the same kind of feeling, but I only get it from like plot twists and sometimes songs, but not from like just sound effects. Unless if it's like the rumbling of a thunderstorm, something like that sometimes can be very stirring and give like those, oh man, I forgot what's the word. I want to say assonance, but that's not the right one. There's a word for like the sensation in your skin. Frick, I can't remember. I mean, obviously you could just say tingles, but that's a little bit lackluster way of putting it. Let's see. Let's do some bright blue. Bright blue. Well, that might be too close to the background. You can tell what my favorite colors are. Except I do want like a lighter purple in here. And I think the purples I've got mixed up are just not light and bright enough. I do have some vivid kind of sapphire in here, but I'm going to have to mix it with white in order to kind of make it bright enough that you can tell. To see it's rather, like it's got a nice shimmer to it though, but it's not super duper like saturated. See, that's like almost invisible on the canvas, so I guess we'll just have to do a little bit like that and then bring in the other paintbrush with some white and lighten it up. It's not really looking like what I was imagining. I think for the painting I kind of wanted to echo, I'd probably have to mix up some specific colors first that do well on top of each other for contrast, because it's not just it's so much easier working digitally because you can just push those values one way or another, which is probably why some people are elitist about physical art rather than digital art, but whatever. I just like making colors happen. It's like this one's just like a little too thin. It's very translucent. Oh yeah, I don't have any music on the background this time. It's just fine, I guess. The laptop fan is not bothering my ears too much on this day. It looks like grapes now. That's alright, I guess. I like grapes. I haven't actually eaten grapes in a while. Chris says, don't know if it counts as ASMR, but my favorite sounds to go to sleep with are the sounds of a fan and snoring and purrs. Yeah, those are all very soothing sounds. I like the sound of dryers for some reason. That's one of my good going to sleep to sounds. Fans are okay sometimes, but if they're on high at all, it kind of makes me panic. Something in my brain like triggers, and it makes me feel like, you know, like a storm is brewing or something. So I can't stand to go to sleep with a fan on high, which is very frustrating because I'm also a very warm-natured person that would like to be able to be cold and enjoy the breeze and huddle up under a blanket while the breeze is blowing on me. That would be very convenient, but my brain is just like, nope, nope. What is it? There's a hurricane. I know there is. I hear it. I hear the hurricane. Not gonna let you sleep during the hurricane, says my brain, says my brain. But yeah, purring, snoring. Well, some snoring's not good. When it's all like ragged and makes you worry if they're gonna stop breathing or something, it's like, that's not so soothing. But just restful snoring, it's pretty chill. And purring is like the best sound on earth. I always purr whenever I'm getting like a head rub or back rub or anything. I wish I had like an actual ability to purr like a cat though, so that way I wouldn't have to interrupt my breathing in order to do it. But it feels like the right thing to do. Maybe a little bit more purple up in the corner, but I want to bite a food first. Chrissy says from here it looks like a sea creature vomiting eggs, and yep, totally does. That was like the face here. There's kind of a face going on with like the three eyes and the mouth there, which we'll see whether or not it makes it to the final version, but it can be a vomiting sea creature if it needs to be. I don't know what it is about three-eyed creatures. It's so like interesting. Probably just that like that kind of odd numbered thing doesn't normally exist in nature. The asymmetry. If there are any real three-eyed creatures, I'd like to know about them. Hello? Yes, Molly Bean. Whoop, she's stepping on the computer. Let's see if everything survives. Hi, Bean. What are you doing? What are you doing, Bean? Oh man, I need to find the cat nail clipper, cause she got some hooks on her. Don't drink the paint side. You can drink that side, cause there's no paint on that side, but don't drink the painty side. I don't know what it is about cats always wanting to drink paint water. Alright, good. She's going for the clean side. You silly girl. You silly girl. Don't, not the paint side. I don't think that's very healthy. gosh, suddenly cats. What am I looking for? I'm looking for this. I want to keep doing some more purple up on the corner here. Boom, 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 boom. It's gonna be like it comes out of nowhere because I put the purple on first, and then I use the white to brighten it back up so you can see where it actually is. Because right now it looks basically invisible, at least to my eyes. Hello, Bean. Are you gonna sit on my lap, sweet Bean? Are you gonna sit on my lap, sweet cat? That's good. Boop, 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 boop. Ba-doop, 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 ba-doop. Oops. Probably shouldn't have touched that green because it's not dry yet. I think that's part of the thing with getting the contrast brightness right with the effect that I saw on that one painting. I think you gotta let that shit dry first. Yep, kitty screaming. They do that. Oh, Ragnar's settling down. I don't know if you can see him behind me. I think probably you can if I lean back. He's settling down. He's so sweet. He has endeared himself to me by all the times that he slept by my feet like a guard dog. It's so cute. And every now and then he'll actually let me like kind of cuddle up to him. Usually he likes to be a little bit of a safe distance. Or like at your feet, out of reach of your hands so you can't just spontaneously pet him. And he'll wake up in the middle of the night and urgently remember that he needs to eat something right away. And run to the food bowl and go eat. It's so funny. Oh, that's not very bright, is it? Maybe it's just the light in here is kind of funky. Because right now it's just the ambient light filtering in through a mostly closed window. So I should probably turn on the overhead light, huh? I don't know why I didn't do that. Hey, look! Things are visible now. Well, I'll be. Imagine using light to see things. It's always wild how, like, if I draw on the computer for a while, your eyes... Hello, Bean. Yes? You want to go in the closet? But yeah, it starts making my eyes go all real funky. And specifically, also, not so much just the drawing, but if I'm trying to adjust the values and optimize them for printing things. Whoo boy. Like right before convention, I'll be doing that a lot, and it will kind of fry my eyeball's ability to detect specifically blue. It kind of just gives up. And so all my prints that I print just don't look like they're actually blue. And it's really trippy. Yes, Bean? You won't go in the closet for some reason? You know the vacuum's in there, right? You don't like the vacuum. But if you insist. Alright, there you go. That's a closet. It's the same as it was. Same as it's always been. Well, not always, but same as it's been for a while. Why? Cats are so funny. Cats are so funny. Molly, you want to sit on my lap, baby? Would that make you happy? Would that make you happy, honey? She might be mad because I don't remember if I left the door open for her or not. She loves going on the porch so much. And yes, I'm talking about my cats an ungodly amount, but what else to talk about? I don't want to talk about the sad things in the world right now, and I'm already talked out about most things. I could talk about how I think I already mentioned playing The Witcher last time I was streaming, but it's been a while since I've played already. I'm already forgetting a lot of it, which is the frustrating thing about playing video games, never finishing them. Ugh. I don't know how people finish video games. I just play a little bit and then I get sidetracked. Don't be scratching at that. Honey, Bean, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why? She's probably mad because I've not slept in a while. They're used to me napping a lot, so she's probably just trying to demand that I lay down and take a cuddle nap. You're not stuck, are you? I just see stuff moving around in there. It's so spooky. I could talk about that. I don't remember if I talked about this in a previous stream or not, but our bathroom, well, kind of our house in general, is a little bit haunted. A little bit. Specifically, though, the bathroom's really funny because the door automatically closes itself. And it will close Molly in there, and then she'll just meow and ask me to let her back out. I'm like, Molly, that ghost really wants to leave you in the bathroom for some reason. Because, yeah, I don't know why. Sometimes the door closes, sometimes it doesn't. It's probably got to do with airflow, realistically, but I call it ghosts because whatever. Kitty babes are the best. I agree. Cats are my pretty much favorite thing about life. Pretty much. Pretty much. Cats, color, sushi, cuddles, things like that. Making stickers. Honey Bean, what are you getting into, my dear? I have one of the screens from the window in the closet, and because I thought it would be a way of putting it out of the way where the cats wouldn't mess it up. Because little Goblin likes to climb them. And so right now, she's climbing around. I think just getting back behind it. I don't think she's climbing on it. But I just keep seeing this and hearing the screen wobble as she finagles her way through the piles of clothing and stuff. What an adventure, baby. What an adventure. Okay, maybe I'm back. We'll see. It says excellent connection. I forgot to plug my computer back in. I just see a loading bar, a loading bar, a loading bar. I just don't want it to end like this. Not like this. Not like this. I think we're back. Yes, maybe, maybe. Are we back? Are we good? I see myself moving. I haven't been able... Well, obviously, I don't have my volume on, so I can't hear myself, but I think it's working again. They're probably going to start winding down so I can recharge my personal batteries as well, not just my computer battery. We'll see if it can keep up. I don't know how quickly this laptop's battery drain versus charging is. We need some pink up in here, don't we? I mean the color, not the musician, but I mean the musician would be welcome as well. But pink might do well as a good contrast. Doot, doot, doot. It's funny, I think my laptop's fan got louder now that it's like straining more to catch back up after having booted itself back up. Not the best sound in the world. I feel so silly just painting a million little circles, but it'll have a cool effect once you get enough of them. It just takes a while. I mean, which is the case of most art, unless if you have like a really, I don't know, some people I guess draw fast, and sometimes I've managed to, but most of my stuff is pretty slow and tedious. I'm always exceptionally blown away by how anyone can draw like what are they called? Like really good structural drawings, like architecture stuff with realistic lighting and things like that. It's just not the sort of thing my brain notices. I like more organic figural things. Figurative, whatever. Oh man. My throat's getting done. Tap to retry. Let's see. Is it working now? I think it's working. Looks like it's working on my phone anyway. I want to open this yellow. 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 Yeah. Mixing with some of these blue bits that we've got already. Wow, that is a thick yellow. I think after I do a little bit of yellow, a little bit of pink, I'll go ahead and close out for the, I almost said night because it's essentially my night. But I mean the day, I guess, whatever. Swoop, 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 swoop. Making sound effects while I paint again. It's funny, I'm having to like try to memorize where I have wet paint and not, because I don't want the colors to get muddy. So like when I come in with some pink, I need to be careful not to hit any of the fresh yellow greens with it. Just like rainbow fish eggs. Part of why I wanted to do this is because that painting reminded me of like kind of like an exaggeration of the way my color static always looks like the color snow that I see transposed over reality all the time. Though, to give more of an effect, more like what the color static actually is, you'd have to do a whole bunch of really tiny dots and then have them randomly form patterns every now and then. Sometimes a lot of different patterns very rapidly in succession, and then sometimes it'll almost even look like words. It's wild. Not quite enough like words where you can like make any particular word out, but enough where you can like get the impression of that looks like letters. And a lot of times it'll look like mandalas, or like that little the Viking compass symbol. I can't remember what it's called. It's kind of like a snowflake, except runic. Beep, 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 beep. Let's see in Ragnar in my peripheral vision. Hopefully you can see in there. It's so sweet. It's curled up. And Molly sleeping there. Fluffy sleepy kitties. Fluffy sleepy kitties. Fluffy sleepy kitties. That's gonna be me soon. I'm going to be a fluffy sleepy kitty. I could have an easier time doing better circles if I had a different angle on this and was holding the brush different, but oh well. It's about just going for it. Not perfectionism. Not today, anyway. Perfectionism can be another day. Perfectionism. Yeah, perfectionism can just go wait in the corner for a while until we have more energy for that. Ooh, the wind picked up. I have the window cracked open because I like it cold in here. But it makes a big difference whether or not it's windy. If it's not windy, this house like stays insulated as heck. Can't hardly even tell. But as soon as that wind picks up, it gets quite brisk. Oh my gosh, now it smells like food. Oh, it smells so good. We live on an apartment complex that's actually right over a bunch of businesses. And one of them, a few like doors down that way, underneath some of our neighbors, is a it's called Soho. I can't remember, something like that. But it's like an Asian barbecue place with a mix of Korean and Japanese and all sorts of foods. It's so good. It smells amazing. They have the most delicious, tender, not quite teriyaki chicken, like char grilled chicken with a side dish of like scallions and a bunch of amazingness. I don't have it memorized, but I had it once and it was so good. Oh, so good. We ate there a couple times while we were doing moving things. We don't eat out a whole lot. We kind of only every once in a while. So it really leaves an impression when I find a place that I like. We have not found... Well, I guess we do have a decent Mexican place, but it's like, it's more of, like a more hip Mexican place rather than like the authentic, cheap, fast kind of, I don't know if Tex-Mex is the right word, whatever it is that we had in Tennessee that Zachary kind of misses because he liked that a lot. I miss it a little bit, but Korean food's more my craving. I just heard a clunk. Cat, are you getting into things? I gotta make sure the cat's not hurting himself. I'll get fresh paint water while I'm at it.
What? No. Where are you, Goblin? Sweet boy. Sweet boy. Did you knock something down for us? Goblin. Want some water, baby? There you are. Hi. Hi. You okay? Hi. Cute. So cute. Oh, forgetting my water.
Cat's fine. He looked sleepy. I don't know. Maybe something blew over on the porch. It might have not even been a catastrophe. Looks so funky. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and swing it towards the camera so you can get a closer look. Though the lighting in here is not the best. Let's see if I can turn on this little light here. Here we go. Maybe that light will make it more brightly visible. Just a bunch of little dots. Nothing too wild. Just a bunch of little dots. So I do think it's kind of looking fun. Just keep adding more dots to it. I want to do this kind of painting. I'll go ahead and show you the rock that I wanted to do something like. No, this isn't what I'm going for with this canvas because I think it would be a lot of work and a lot of paint to get it to have the same effect at that size. So what I'm kind of like trying to echo with this one is something else. But I do really like this. It's so pleasing. It's painted with raised dots. It's very nice. And I want to do something similar to this but with seashells. Yeah. Specifically because I want the kind of seashells that, like half clamshells, that kind, not the spiral kind. Though that would be pleasing too, but I like the idea of half of a like clam or mussel shell where you have the raised dots on the outside for like a tactile experience. They just layer up the paint, I think. I mean, maybe they put a base coat underneath and then they just color it on top of that. I don't know. Either way, I like that kind of textural thing on one side, but I think if I did something like that, I would have the inside either I would try to put something fuzzy in it, some like really soft fake fur, or put layers of epoxy in it with suspended
glitter or art or other elements on the inside. I'm not gotten around to it yet though, because decisions about what colors to do and what patterns to do and how to approach like the inside of the shells that I want to make. I love this stone though. It has a very nice weight to it, and it's like always so pleasingly cold as well. Oh, and to clarify, I did not do this. It's by I think that's J. Brett's. I'm not sure. I'm not. I think so. Maybe G? I don't know. Handwriting is hard. Okay. Pink. We need some pink. Is this the only pink I have? Might be able to mix another better pink, but we'll just start with this one. We'll mix another pink for another day. Though, oh boy, does it seem like we don't have much of it left, so this is gonna be a challenge. Don't squirt out too fast. Running low on some of my colors. I have reds, obviously, so I could lighten them and make a pink. Oh well, there, I've got it. It's a pretty decent pink there. It's a little bit more on the red side, but it'll do. Can always hit it with a little bit more white if needed. And then after I do a little bit of pink, I'm gonna take a sleep. It'll be my nap time then. Oof, that is quite red. Maybe I'll do this one instead. That one looks less bright. Decisions. I'm only going to do a little bit of pink right now because it'd be safer to do my pink later on after my previous colors have definitely dried, because I don't want to mix them wrongly. These paint palettes were actually things that I mixed up in anticipation of the project I was just describing about painting the clamshells. And I mixed up the paint palette and I painted the base coat for them, and then I got overwhelmed and I put it aside. I only finished a couple of teeny tiny little ones that were just kind of experimental that I sent as gifts to, well, I kept one, but then I sent the others as gifts to family members. And they're still not quite like what I would like them to ultimately be. Even the ones I did finish, they're still a very basic form of it because they're not really layered up and textural. They're super tiny shells because I found them outside of our last apartment in the river. And so I just, yeah. I wanted to specifically send something from where I lived. So I didn't use some of the other seashells that I have that are larger and easier to paint on. Basically had to work with a magnifying glass to paint the shells that I did paint. So yeah, they're very tiny, very tiny. I think that's dry there. Let's add a little bit more. The white, where's the, kind of make this more pink, more pinker.
little bit more of a like warm corally. I kind of wanted a more like a hot pink, like a fuchsia. I don't know if fuchsia's the right word, but like vibrant neon pink. I'm gonna have to see if I can mix one. Sometimes it's hard to mix those really artificially bright colors. Because it kind of depends on what pigments are actually in there, whether or not they play nicely together. Now this section's making me think of salmon. Like, sushi. And I guess those alarms earlier must have just been a test, maybe. I don't know. They're not going off anymore. I'm just being reminded because I randomly hear like a regular siren. Like someone's getting pulled over. Who knows? Bloop. Alright, well, that's some progress. It's different from when I started. I think I'm gonna call it a day/night /stream. And thank you for everyone who dropped by. And I hope your days are going well. And stay safe, stay clean. Have fun, treat yourself to the good things. Don't stress as much as possible. Hugs, love. Thank you for hanging out. Bye. Like how it makes me confirm that I want to end the stream. Like, I already said my goodbyes. Don't drag it out.